All right, gang, here we are. Back at Acadiana Muscle. It's Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Just spent 30 minutes trying to get the audio set up for the $800 or $900 camera and lens that is looking at me right now. So we have upgraded, guys. I hope this produces more pristine, high quality content for you guys. I am the limiting factor here, so bear with me. We might record this whole session and not have audio, but I think I finally got it fixed. Anyhow, we're here to train legs. I'm gonna run you guys through what is, I think, by far my favorite leg workout. And it's an accumulation of all of my favorite heavy duty training principles smashed into one. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start out warming up the adductors and quads. It's gonna be a more quad focused day, hence we're putting those first at the beginning of the session. So we're gonna warm up adduction and leg extension in rotation. Then we're gonna move on to a hack squat, and I'll explain why when we get there. Then we're gonna do a hinge, a hamstring curl, calves, and go home. So we're looking at 5, 6 sets. We'll see. We'll see how many extra I wanna do, but this is our high volume quad focused leg day. Very high volume. You heard her? What? We don't do high volume around here. Yeah. Well, we're gonna try today. So, welcome back and enjoy the show.
Are we really?
I wonder how that looks.
Like shit.
Yeah, you look like shit. All right. So, like I was talking about, what makes this leg workout so exceptional is starting off with these adductors. When you train your adductors first, your legs are gonna feel so much more full, so much more engorged, and just ready. Not to mention the fact that we are only training really this specific part of the leg. The rest are getting some blood flow. But this enables us to get a really good stimulus to the adductors. We're gonna move on to train quads in isolation, and then we'll have a press, which is primarily adductors and some quads. So we're gonna offset to let the fatigue kind of diminish so that we can get the most effective stimulus possible the next time we come around to hit the adductors. So I'm gonna progressively overload today on the range of motion. It's really hard for me to get to that next click on this machine, especially since it's a little wore out at the pin. But I don't wanna use the 2 additional plates with the gym pin. So I'm gonna go back down to 1 and get the extra range of motion and just start progressing that way. Because I'd like to get a little more. I'm thinking more about functionality here over the last couple weeks since you saw me deadlift for the first time in 3 years. All muscle is functional muscle. It's really about just training in ranges of motion that you're not so used to. And that's what makes you better and more bulletproof. And I'll give credit to Mundy on this one. He says something that's so great, that is, if you're weak in a range of motion, that's where you get injured. You can be strong in the most extreme ranges, you can make yourself safe from injury. But you have to train in those ranges. The problem comes from being weak in those positions. So yeah. I wish my wife was here to help me set this up, but okay, see, that's not enough. I need to get 1 more click. There we go. See, it pops loose. Kirsten, get your butt over here. I need your help. God damn. All right, here we go.
Sorry, I didn't know.
We could have went heavier. I was way higher in my rep range. I think I was like probably 12, 13 reps there. But that was good. Whew. All right. Let me show y'all a badass piece of leg training equipment. Oh, what we got? I mean, this is the girth. That's what you get when you train those adductors. That's what matters. See, it's the distance from here to here. That enables me to get my legs wider. The adductors are still touching, and that's what gets you wide. That's what gives you width. It's the most underrated thing you can do is an adductor isolation. Ooh, I'm pumped up. All right, so moving on to the top set, here we go. This is the Nautilus chain-driven leg extension. Probably one of the best quad pieces that's ever been made. If you've used one, you know the deal. And this is the kind of shit we work with here at the Muscle. Absolutely extravagant. So, according to the logbook, we had max stack plus a 45. I did 11 to 14 is what I wrote down. So I don't know how many I did, but I know that I can go up in weight. So I think 10 pounds would be substantial to cover that distance. That's what we're gonna do. All right, what is the benefit of doing a leg curl before a press? Well, this. All right, can you see it? Let me show you.
Hey, bring the camera.
Oh no, you can't see it. Well, this muscle right here, it ties in at the hip and runs down in between your outer sweep and your teardrop is the vastus medialis, I do believe. This one is only trained in a fixed position because it ties in at both the knee and the hip. So its primary function is to extend the knee, right? So you get that in isolation when your hips are set and you extend here, right? That ain't trained so much when you're doing a press. So we put this first so we can get the most effort out of that, right? Without fatiguing the rest of the quads as much. Then when we go on to hit our press, we're primarily working the vastus lateralis, which I'll show y'all when we get there. But it's just stacking up your exercises in this kind of order. You get the most out of each one, right? If I wanted to get the most out of my leg press, I would be using substantially more poundages, and that's gonna smash me. I mean, hell, me and Josh used to come over here and start off our workout with the leg press. And when you got 10 plates on each side of a Cybex leg press, which is one of the harder ones, we turned gray afterwards and wanted to vomit and had fatigue headaches. Like, we could have just went home right after that. So I'd like to get the most stimulus on the rest of the muscles that I can, then move on to something like that, which is more like a polishing movement, right? Yes, it's primarily adductor driven. Yes, it works the quads. Yes, it incorporates the glutes. That's what a press does. So if I can isolate these other areas, get them stimulated, and then save all that to polish it off, right? So here we go. Oh, I really love this chain-driven one. I actually feel it more on the entirety of the quads than I do other leg extensions. Another thing, with this big heavy center piece where the feet pads are attached, it's much more stable. Your other machines are wonky. The foot pedals, the pads wobble back and forth, or they bend one way more than the other, which puts more pressure on one leg than the other. And all of those things kind of distract you from the real contraction and work you're trying to put in. Feel the weight. We didn't see a whole lot of velocity loss. Well, we did see it. We saw velocity loss completely in our range of motion. So we couldn't get a full extension anymore. That's done. All right, so here we are. We're about to hit our hack squats. I'm gonna do a little something with the technique that's gonna require a bit more effort. So the strength is gonna look embarrassingly low. And I think I am embarrassingly weak on these hack squats. It's something I've had to avoid doing due to knee impingement, due to injuries to that vastus lateralis because I'm a psycho and I push too hard in the pocket too many times. Yeah, and I'm weak in that range of motion maybe. Anyway, so we hit our adduction isolation. We hit our quad isolation for the medius, for the middle there, for the pecker muscle. Now we're gonna move on to this hack squat. This is gonna be primarily, I'll show you. See that split right there? That's the vastus lateralis. That's what we're looking for. Boom. That's what makes that quad sweep on the outside. That's why you need a heavy press. But anyhow, what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna have the feet closer, lower on the pad to get that knee over toe, but I'm gonna be working in that bottom end of the range of motion. I've got a reverse band on it so I don't have too much shear force on the knees. And that's gonna allow me to not have that sticking point as badly in the bottom so I can get more effective reps in. I'm not gonna be coming all the way up and locking out and resetting. No, I'm gonna keep that pressure and intensity in on those quads, demanding very high levels of effort and force production. So let's do it. Hold on now. I reset my camera. What I got going on here? There we go. There we go. I think that looks better. All right. And again, I'm always scared to do these. I've hurt myself a few times here. And yeah, so it makes daddy a little nervous, you know? So I've got, my heels are probably gonna be 6 to 8 inches from the floor, not even halfway up the pad. My heels are also less than shoulder width here. When you're wider, you're more stable. You're gonna be driving with more of the glutes because your knees are gonna get more alongside your torso. But in this place, you're feeling so much right here where that vastus lateralis ties into those hips, those IT bands, all that is just, it's getting nailed, plus the rest of the quads, so. Let's see how many I can do, man. I'm scared of this shit. I don't like hack squats. I'm a fucking coward when it comes to this. This shit is hard. Lock in, baby, come on. So my knees are getting a little tender there. We did 15 reps, way over the rep range. Fatigue maxing like a mofo. But we'll call that a win. I liked it a lot. On to the next one. So we're moving on to hamstrings and glutes. We trained the adductors, we trained the quads very thoroughly. A lot of great stimulus there. So what I'm gonna be doing now is a back extension, 45-degree extension. We got a nice little machine that I can do it with, very stable, good handles, good pad. Doesn't put a lot of bad tension in where my hamstrings tie into my knees. Some things do. But anyhow, technique. What we want to be mindful is that we are actually pulling through our hamstrings and our glutes. At the bottom of the rep, we want to feel our hamstrings kind of rotate outward, like pushing out toward the camera. And then as we pull through them, we drive the glutes forward and squeeze them, and everything rotates inward. We really want to focus on the feel of the hamstrings and the glutes, because otherwise you'll end up like me, and you'll have spinal erectors that stick off your back this far. And you don't want that. If I'm not focused on it, I'm gonna pull everything through my lower back and my erectors, and I'll just stand up with it real easy. That's not what we're trying to do. We want to pull with the hamstrings, pull with the glutes. So let's focus on that. I didn't feel like setting up the 45-degree bench over there and do it with the barbell. So I just came over here. This is simple and easy. I'll probably set it up next time. But anyway, got it jerry rigged with an extra 25 pounds. We'll probably end up out of the rep range, but that's okay. Ooh. It's hot in here. And that set of hack spots was terrible. So anyway, let's go. Oh! Also, you want the toes pointed forward, like feet straight forward. I find that that gives me better tension through the hamstrings and just feel it a lot better that way. So feet forward, kind of straight in, get locked up, get in a good position. Make sure your body is squared up. Load the hamstrings right there. Oh, there we go. That was a big pull. Rotate out, back, up, squeeze. That sucks. Oh. Oh. Damn. We almost lost our plate, so right there at the end. That's good. That's good. Good set, team. Okie dokie, Big Smoky. I kind of went a little overboard on my warm-up set, and it just felt so gnarly that I took it to failure. But I was like 100 pounds less than this. I'm gonna do the full stack and see how it feels. But the pads on my feet, these shoes are worn out, and the pads on my feet were kind of bothering me. My ankle was a little funky, which I've been having some issues with. So we'll see how it feels. If I have to bail, then I'll bail and just do some calves next time I come train. Yeah, there's nothing special about calf training, guys. Just get your fucking calves up. Get your heels up in the air. Real simple. That was the big suck. That did not feel good. Mainly the pads of my feet really hurted on that, so that's cool. Well, I think I'm gonna go hit a set of triceps for shits and giggles. Might record it, might not. If I don't, I'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoy the improved camera quality. Boy, doesn't my arm look so big and strong? We've been making gains, guys. 220 plus pounds on low dosage. 300 tests, 200 mass microdose over the course of 7 days. Little half vial of HGH before bed, half vial before I come train, which is once every 3 or 4 days. And I mean, the improvements are there. Look at that arm. My calves look better than ever in like offhanded photos that we've been taking.
Like
Family photos, they look like ball sacks, my wife says. I almost called her my sister.
Ew.
Disgusting fetish unlocked.
Ew, no.
Deep-seated, maybe.
I'll fucking divorce you. That's gross.
Yeah. No. See you guys next time.
Well, Bobby, I don't know where that's at. I don't know where it's at, but here.
Oh, that's your fat and hairy Bill.